Well, happy day after the winter solstice. It's December 22nd, 2022 EV. You might ask, what does EV mean? Well, it's short for Era Vulgaris, or the Common Era. Thelemites sort of start the new era at 1904. So that would be the AN, or Anno Nova. But anyway, whatever it is, the sun still is doing what the sun does, or actually the earth does what the earth does to make the sun do what the sun does. Anyway, most of you already know that 12 of the tarot court cards, depending on how you label them, the king, the queen, or the prince, or the way Crowley and DuQuette call them, the knight, queen, prince, but not the princesses, just the knights, queens, and princes. Not princesses, princes. Rule 30 degrees of the zodiac, each. 20 degrees of one sign to 20 degrees of the following sign. So there's on the DuQuette's Queen of Discs, you see that it's 20 degrees of Sagittarius to 20 degrees of Capricorn. That's what the Queen of Discs rule. The queens rule mostly 2/3 of the cardinal signs. The princes rule 20 degrees of the fixed, and the knights rule 20 degrees of the mutable signs. So Capricorn, cardinal Capricorn, would be the Queen of Discs there. Now, living inside each of those 12 court cards are 3 small cards that represent 10 degrees periods of the 30 degrees that the queens or the court cards represent. It's easier just to look at the chart and say, oh, I get it. But anyway, so today starts, oh, there it is. Today starts December 22nd through December 30th, right through Christmas up to New Year's, almost New Year's Eve, is ruled by the Two of Discs, or harmonious chains, Jupiter in Capricorn, living inside the Queen. I'm going to read what Crowley says about both of those cards. Now, the Queen of Discs in the Thoth Tarot is perhaps my second favorite female image in the court cards. Obviously, my favorite is the Princess of Discs. But anyway, I'm going to start off by reading what Crowley has to say about the Queen of Discs, and then we'll move on from there. The Queen of Discs, I'll hold it up while we're talking, represents the watery part of Earth, the function of that element as mother. She rules from the 21st degree of Sagittarius to the 20th degree of Capricornus. She represents passivity, usually in its highest aspect. The Queen of Discs is enthroned upon the life of vegetation. She contemplates the background where a calm river winds through a sandy desert to bring it fertility. See that? oases are beginning to shew themselves amidst the wastes. Before her stands a goat upon a sphere. There is here a reference to the dogma that the great work is fertility. Her armor is composed of small scales or coins, and her helmet is adorned with the great spiral horns of the Markor. In her right hand she bears a scepter surmounted by a cube, within which is a three-dimensional hexagram, and in her left arm is curved a proper disc. A sphere of loops and circles interlaced. She thus represents the ambition of matter to take part in the great work of creation. Persons, signified by this card, and Crowley suggests the obvious thing that the court cards primarily represent qualities of people, individuals. Persons signified by this card possess the finest of the quieter qualities. They are ambitious, but only in useful directions. They possess immense funds of affection, kindness, and greatness of heart. They are not intellectual and not particularly intelligent. So thank you, Crowley. But instinct and intuition are more than adequate for their needs. These people are quiet, hard-working, practical, sensible, domesticated, often in reticent and unassuming fashion. Lustful, I'm laughing at a private joke. Lustful and even debauched. They are inclined to abuse of alcohol and drugs. It is as if they could only realize their essential happiness by getting outside themselves. If ill-dignified, they're dull, servile, foolish. They are drudges rather than workers. That's ill-dignified. Life for them is purely mechanical, and they cannot rise or even seek to rise above their appointed lot. In the I Ching, the watery part of Earth is represented by the 31st hexagram, Sin. This is my Chinese flawless. This has the meaning influence. The commentary describes the effect of moving various parts of the body, from the toes to the jaws and tongue. This is rather an amplification of what has been said above than an exact correspondent. Yet, there is no discordance. The general advice is to go forward quietly without overt attack upon existing situations. That would be in a tarot reading. Okay, that's our beautiful Queen of Discs. Now we're just, we're a week into the Queen of Discs, or over a week into the Queen of Discs already. So, but what begins today is the Two of Discs. The number 2 is Hokmah. Here rules in the suit pertaining to Earth. It shows the type of energy appropriate to 2 in its most fixed form. According to the doctrine that change is the support of stability, the card is called Change. Now, elsewhere, Crowley informs us that the 2s, not the aces, are really the first in-your-face manifestation of the element. The aces are just the root of the element, literally the the intimation, the tendency of the issue to become an element. So Ace of Discs would be the tendency to Earth. This is Earth. The twos have it. Just like on a tree of life, one is so absolute and singular, it doesn't even know what it is. It has to reflect itself to say, oh, that's what I am. And that reflection is number 2. And that's where the light bulb goes off. Oh, that's what I am. Well, the Ace of Discs finally has to look at its reflection and go, oh, that's what I am. And that is the 2, Hokmah. Its celestial rulers are Jupiter and Capricorn. Jupiter, Capricorn. And these symbols are most inharmonious, so that in practical matters, the good fortune of Jupiter is very limited. Their influence on the card is not great, yet Jupiter being himself the wheel of fortune's Jupiter, he emphasizes that idea. The card represents 2 pentacles, one above the other. They are the Chinese symbol of the yang and yin, duplicated as in the Hsang. Again, my flawless Chinese. One wheel is dextro and the other levio rotary. So one's going counterclockwise there. That one's going clockwise there. They thus represent the harmonious interplay of the 4 elements in constant movement. And that's today. In the wheel of the year, that's today. The harmonious interplay of 4 elements in constant movement. One may, in fact, consider the card as a picture of the complete manifested universe in respect to its dynamics. In other words, finally, the year, the solar year, has shot his wad and says, okay, this is what it is. The potential has been established and manifested. It's time for a new year. About them is an entwined serpent, his tail in his mouth. He forms the figure 8, the symbol of the infinite, the equation 0 equals 2. Okay, that's what Crowley says in the Book of Thoth about those 2 cards. And I showed you briefly from Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. I wasn't inclined to deviate too much further from Crowley's idea for an image there. Now, let's see what DuQuette really has to say, if he has anything to add to that Queen of Discs. Hang on. No, I don't have too much to add about the Queen of Discs, except to again refer to the I Ching hexagram number 31, which is wooing, courtship, not seduction. Courtship, not seduction, is indicated. Taking a wife brings good fortune. That's sort of the I Ching's point of view there. Now, look at that bottom there. There's an Enochian square. Now, that's off the Tablet of Union, and that's the water of Earth, which is what the Queen of Discs is. The water of Earth from the Tablet of Union. Okay? And that water of earth is the water subangle of the earth tablet. And that's what that looks like. Now, the tattva symbol for water of earth, the earth's square, yellow square, and the water silver crescent is the tattva symbol. Now, if you could look up all the things that the Queen of Disc really is in the universe, if you got 1,000,000 tarot books and you look up the definition and you read in Crowley and you read in DuQuette of what it might mean in a tarot reading and what it might mean in a meditation. But you'd really like to know that if this is really a piece of the cosmos, or really a piece of the universe, or really a piece or a facet of universal consciousness, how do you tap into that? Would you like to be able to just write your own definition? Wouldn't you like to travel into the astral world, if you want to call it that corny name? If you want to travel into the astral world of the Queen of Discs to get your own insight as to what she means, in order for perhaps you to understand where you are in this particular day, how would you go about it? Now, you could sit down and meditate with the card in front of you. That's fine. Both Harris's card and mine use the colors that should titillate correctly your cones and rods of your eyes. You could stare at the card, but there is another way that ceremonial magicians might consider doing, almost like saying, oh, I wish there was a drug, a particular pill I could take that would induce a vision of each of the particular court cards. So you got 12 drugs. Actually, you got 16 drugs, because the knights are fire, and the queens are water, and the princes are air, and the princesses are earth. You got 16 drugs that you could. I think I will take the Queen of Discs drug and see what her universe is like. See what, when I go into my universe, what is my Queen of Discs like? What lessons do I need to learn from her? How is she an asset, or how is she a liability? I need to see what she's about. Well, the key might very well be in that N there, or more specifically in the water of earth subangle of the Enochian system of magic, which happens to have, lo and behold, a particular angelic call that's associated with each of the 16 subangles. It's the school song for the angels that together, like transformers or module pieces of that particular level of universal consciousness. It's the school song for those angels. And when they hear their school song, they show up. Someone's singing our school song. Let's see what that's about. And as we see what that's about, will drag our frequency of consciousness into that vicinity of whoever is doing that call. And if they're passive and receptive enough and quiet enough, and it's their will to penetrate our environment where our school song is sung, they will have a specific vision. It's like taking the proper drug. And in this case, the proper drug is the 14th call. If you like, I'll slowly read the 14th call. No Rome baige, paz, oyad, dies trink mirk o thild, dads tolam, ka os gohomin, dies brin a roach quer, mikma bial, oyad, a isrotox, dies ya baltim zakarot zamran, odosikleque, zorge lape zordir no comada hoathiata. The English translation of that, at least according to D. and Kelly, O you sons of fury, daughters of the just, which sit upon 24 seats, vexing all creatures of earth with age, which have under you 1636. Behold the voice of God, the promise of him which is called amongst you extreme justice. Move and show yourselves. Open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly unto me, for I am the servant of the same God as you, true worshipper of the highest. Okay, that's a little talk. I don't know if it's a lesson. It's a lesson if you take it as a lesson of one way that you can enter into the various levels of consciousness that various things from astrology to tarot, how to get yourself into that altered state of consciousness wherein you can focus on that particular aspect of universal consciousness and your own. So we've taken it from tarot through astrology to Enochian magic. And of course, if you know a little bit more about Enochian magic, you can focus in on specific angels within the subangle. You see the sort of white cross, Calvary cross in the center. Those are the divine names. And those divine names, first of all, open up a hierarchy. And the first hierarchy is that top row above the arms of the cross. That's called a cherub. And that cherub rules the 4 angels below the arms of the cross in a very organized and celestially anal retentive manner. Bet you haven't heard those words linked together. Okay, that's it for today. Happy 22nd of December. Enjoy the fact that the sun is coming back. And we have a wonderful little event at 418 Lodge tonight. So we're looking forward to that. So until tomorrow, Continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Noko Mada Hoathiada.